Yo, I got a beetle in my house. Y'all know I had to let my windows up because I had painted my kitchen, and now these creatures is in my house. It's just flying up on. Never mind. I'm sorry.
No, so the reason, so I know it kind of sounded weird how I was asking it. I was trying to ask the direct question that was asked earlier. On shout out to him. Well, he did him. So I don't know. Some of the times when I'm watching this stuff, sometimes I think men might be hyperbolic about the experiences that they have in negatively, and then sometimes it seems like genuine things that's going on. So I really be trying to figure out like what is the woman's perspective on this because maybe they are doing it. I just haven't been like able to experience or haven't been in a position to experience it. So I'm not really sure what's hyperbolic and what's actually occurring. I was trying to judge off how y'all felt about the gaslighting and those other questions, just trying to come to a determination. Is it more common than I
Well, some people are just dating assholes.
would it be fair to say that the men who are experiencing this, if they don't have kids, they should just leave that woman and find one that does not operate any of those men, not
Yeah,
expect women to gaslight you?
yeah.
Okay. I'm people tell me that I'm
Like,
being you.
why are you? Yeah, and that goes for men and women alike, right? You shouldn't be in a situation, a toxic relationship. You shouldn't. If somebody's playing with your mind and all that kind of stuff, obviously it's easier said than done. But yeah, just leave. Best course of
So
action is to leave.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think we all kind of understand. Like, I don't think gaslighting is the proper word for this.
Mm-hmm.
did I explain it, dude? I was saying
I
that
know, I know. That's why I
Yeah,
said
so
we
then,
all
yeah, we
agree.
were able to move around it. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the first thing I said, bro. Relax. It's like I said, we all understand that gaslighting isn't the thing that's really happening. So that's
Uh-huh.
why it's kind of hard for you to kind of like wrap this into this situation or try to get their perspectives because we all understand most people don't really gaslight like that.
what situation?
The situation between the man and a woman that women gaslight men that they don't find to be attractive or physically attractive.
We didn't discuss that.
We didn't discuss that.
No, we didn't talk about that at all.
Well, damn, I must be
Somebody
hearing something
brought up
completely
that
different.
somebody
That's
asked,
gaslighting. What
"Did
I
you
did
think
just
of
now
that
is
stuff?"
gaslighting. That is, that was gaslighting.
Oh, bro, bro, you had me thinking that I heard some complete nonsense out here in the streets, and you would listen. This
See, that's gaslighting.
So I
but
will
I'm
say
saying
this though.
that's
I
what I'm
will
saying.
say this.
We
If you
understand
are,
gaslighting. That's what
so
I'm saying.
I
We
would say
understand what
this.
gaslighting. So that's why it makes this conversation kind of like you're trying to be like, is this valid? But you already know it's not valid because most people ain't skilled in gaslighting like that.
Well, it's funny. I was about to say, don't let that nigga gaslight you, HD.
No, because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, H, maybe you don't actually listen. Hey,
I
kudos,
I
sir, because you played me like a fiddle. I listen.
never mind. Never mind.
Oh, you go ahead, Shan. Floor is yours.
Never mind. I don't want to say it.
Bro, why you do me like
Any
that,
more
bro?
questions, Marky Mark?
Because I kind of got the feeling that nobody thought I knew what gaslighting was. So I'm like, you know what?
We
Let
knew
me
what it
just
was. We just didn't know
gaslight
what you
to
were asking
show
about it.
that I know what gaslighting is.
Yeah, and I said that. I said we all understand gaslighting. We know what it is. And then when you came in there, so bro, I was like, I was thinking about my life decisions. I was like, I thought my ears worked.
Uh,
Any more
I,
questions, Marky Mark?
no, that's it. We can call it one.
Any questions from the audience? I think that so stepping away from marriage, right? Do y'all think that marriage is even a real goal? I mean, because look at the numbers are very, very low. I don't think people are trying to be married. I think the people who want to be married, getting married. The people who don't, which is a large majority, are just not getting married.
I think marriage is a very realistic goal, but like you said, you need somebody that actually believes there's value in it. If they don't value it, there's no amount of convincing a person to get married. And that's why I said when we first started having the conversation about the benefits of marriage, I was like, devoid of any religious significance, majority of the benefits you get in marriage, you get outside of marriage. So, or you can at least get it. You just got to do a little bit more work. So that's why I'm saying, like, everybody has a level of fear when it comes to dealing with being committed in a relationship long term. So that's the reason why it seems like most people aren't getting married or in relationships because of that. But it's actually relatively easy to get married if you have people that believe it's valuable.
On that note, did y'all see the conversation? I use the word conversation very lightly, between Pearl and that super conservative right wing dude. I forget his name.
No, I don't watch Pearl, but go ahead, tell us.
So their conversation was really interesting because Pearl is viewed as this right wing female voice for the men's movement, right?
Mhm.
And even with both of them being very right winged, he was so much farther right winged that their values in marriage started to clash. I think we should do a show on it, to be honest. Like, it was really interesting.
Send me the link.
His perspective on marriage versus her perspective on marriage, and how he was looking at marriage very holistically and how it benefited everybody involved in the marriage. That's the wife, the husband, the children, versus the way that Pearl was looking at it about trying to even the scales and fight feminism and using marriage in that context. If you get a chance, watch it. It's super fascinating to see their two ideals clash.
So who you think won?
The dude whose name I can't remember by far. Like, it wasn't even close.
How do you use marriage to fight feminism?
Basically advocating for stripping women of their rights. She was one of the more controversial points they were talking about was her mandatory DNA testing of children. His perspective as a man was really interesting to hear on that because he was adamantly against it.
Why?
Oh, I think I saw that, and he felt like it was an insult to his. I saw a clip.
Yeah, so he thought it would be implying that his wife would be a 304 by making it mandatory. And then when she started to backtrack and say, well, people could opt out of it, and he said, well, then it's not mandatory. So he really held her accountable to the words that she was using. And she presented some other scenarios, and it was interesting to watch.
I think for that reason it should be mandatory, because
I don't
right
think
now
it should. So I don't think it should be mandatory, but I do think it should be an option. Meaning, if he wants it, and in order for anything to be pushed along, for example, child custody, all of those things, it should be mandatory.
No, I'm saying it should be mandatory because right now, as it stands, if he wants a test, it's implying that she's a whore.
No, but the problem is making it mandatory means that, so who's going to pay for it? These are not free
Like they
tests.
pay for everything else. Do your insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even have insurance.
But they still get a bill.
They could take a portion of child support to make sure they streamline their system.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Child support means it is mandatory for child support.
No. I'm saying if you ask
for a man to be put on child support, it's mandatory.
Right. What I'm saying is if they got to go down to the court, file, send off, and do all of these extra, there's a whole department specialized in that. They can just add this to the test when they're doing her blood work, add his blood work.
Well, they do. Most states now is mandatory.
Yeah, that might be now, but there's many people paying for kids that's not theirs biologically. Right. And they find out 5-10 years later and they don't get back pay for that.
Right. So I want to clarify, right? Because right now we're talking about, in the case of child support, what Pearl is advocating for is the point of giving birth. So while they're still in the hospital.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's the part I don't agree with, right?
That's what I agree with.